Hi. Hello. Welcome. Um, my everything is in the wrong spot today. I'm in the process of rebuilding my studio, and I'm surprised this even looks remotely normal. Um, my camera is on a different platform. I have different speakers. My monitors have changed, so now I'm looking probably not in a good spot. This is when I'm looking at Reaper. Yeah, that's gonna look great. When I'm in Reaper, I'm like looking down at Reaper. What does that look like? Yeah, this is cool. I can face the camera and pretend like I'm talking to you when I'm here, and then when I'm working, I'm going to be looking here. Great, I like it. Okay. Wow, already someone in the chat. Lamentic Villains, hello, welcome. Good 4 a.m. to you from Ireland. I sit here, a very lucky and sleep-deprived dude, after using my last $2. Oh, not $2.50. What do you call it? Two quid and 5 penny farthings. I don't know the slang terms for money in Ireland. In my bank randomly on online roulette and winning 260 quid. Oh wow! So what is that? You gained money hundredfold, something like that. And euros. Okay. You're on the euro. Okay, good. That checks out. I've never been to Europe, believe it or not. I feel like everyone I know has traveled to Europe at least once, and I've never been. And that's funny because, like, not only have I never been, but I'm like one of the only people in my family that's never lived in Europe, let alone been there at all. Highly content considering buying Behringer Crave. Behringer Crave is like, as far as bang for a buck goes, it's great. I think they're ugly as shit, but they seem to sound pretty good. It's like essentially a clone of a Moog Mother 32. And it does a pretty good job with most of the same features. And yeah, it's not $500 or whatever a Mother 32 costs. I generally recommend against Behringers. I feel like their component quality is pretty low, but I do own, I think, 2 Behringer products, so I can't talk too much shit if I bought them too. Anyway, today we are going to make some Dungeon Synth in Reaper using a combination of stock plugins and free Kontakt libraries. I have, let me see here, a bunch of Kontakt libraries that I made. I've made some videos on them in the downloads page of my website. Here they are. They're all in here. Dungeon drums I'll be using too. This is one-shots, sort of Dungeon Synthy sounding drums that I made. The synths in here, SK1 is mostly what I'm going to be using. I might use some of these other ones. We'll see. But that's what I'm going to be focusing on today, is making music with these free tools that I've created. Let's get back over here and check it out. What you said here? Maybe I should put it all on one number and then buy me a ticket. And they're ugly. Wish it was blue. So you know what? Something that's great about cheap synths and cheap guitars, cheap products, is that you can feel good about taking them apart and spray painting the chassis and putting it back together. You can draw a big magenta penis on it or something like that. Whatever you want. Okay, this is strings. This is the sound I was using at the beginning. You'll also notice my stream starting soon didn't have that overhead shot, that beautiful overhead shot. I realized that I don't have anywhere to put that camera right now, so I'll solve that. I'm actually moving the whole desk like a few feet closer to the wall as well, so it's going to look totally different, hopefully by the end of the week. We'll see. Okay, strings. This is what the string sound is like. It's very choir horns, not very stringy, but it's resampled samples through an SK1. I think it's a really great sound though for Dungeon Synth, so that's one of the sounds I'll be using. Let's just duplicate the track, and on the second one, pick a different sound. These are all my sample libraries. I am going to pick something that's sort of plucky. I like this one. This is whoops, what have I done? A pitch sound made from a recording of an anvil. And I'm sure the keys are quite loud on this. Let me turn my voice off. So that's what that sounds like. I think it's lovely. Anvil. Hey, Blood Freak. How is your night going? And Lamentic Villain says, it's worth more if I do that and pretend it was a factory prototype. I can see the news story now. Irish person buys cheap synths, repaints them, and resells them for more money. I'm sure there's some way you can make that sound newsworthy. Okay, so Anvil. Strings together. Strings are quite loud. I'll turn those down. Sounds kind of cool together, actually. We're going to use the Dungeon drums. He uses alien technologies. Send it to David Icke. I don't think I know who David Icke is. I don't know celebrity names, though. Monitor 2. David Icke. Searching for David Icke. English conspiracy theorist and footballer. Oh, footballer and sports broadcaster. Was he a footballer and a sports broadcaster, or a sports broadcaster speaking about football? I don't think that David Icke is a public figure that's known in the United States. I've never heard of him before, but there's a good picture of him on Wikipedia shouting about something. Anyway, we're going to use the one-shots that... Oh, art. I have this open because I want to show you that one of the art pieces that's going to go in the new Dungeon Synth album. It's going to be shrunk down and on a cassette. It's going to be very small, but this is a close-up of it. I think it's lovely. Anyway, I had that ready because I knew I'd forget to show. Sports dude claimed to be Jesus. Lovely. I love it. Anyway, let's see. Some of the one-shots. Gong. I'm primarily going to use these. I like these. And I've got them as a track template. I think I can just double click on that. And yep. That pops up. Works beautifully. All these sounds work and they exist in our sequencer or in our MIDI editor. And we want grid. Yeah. Delightful. Lovely. Okay. That's ready to go. The dungeon drums are working. Who do we have here? The Queen is a lizard. Freemasons. Some of his bandits. He's a prophet. That's a word for that. Prophet. And Trav, hi. Nice to see you in here. I don't think I recognize your screen name, so welcome if this is your first time. Behringer's Boss FZ2 clone. Boss FZ2 clone. What's an FZ2? Oh, the Super Fuzz. The Boss Super Fuzz clone. Yeah, I've heard that that's actually a decent one. And yeah, they make another Behringer chorus for thing. What is it called? I don't know. There's like a rack mount chorus by another company that Behringer owns. I can't remember what it is. What have I done? I just closed my stream. Hopefully the stream's still going. Oh yeah, sorry. I just minimized it. Wonderful. Most of it's pure insanity, so Saturn's rings project Satan radiation at Earth. That's true, though. You didn't know that? The Saturn's rings do project Satan at Earth. That's why black metal exists. You've deleted Behringer as a company. I don't buy anything from them anymore. I just they've done too many things that I disagree with. I don't want to send them money. I feel like they're the kind of company that will turn up and do something that I really hate if they haven't already. But I also am not going to knock people that buy stuff from them because their stuff is basically cheapest in class, which is hard to compete with. What is that thing called? Dimension D. Behringer Dimension D. Yeah, Clark Technic. This thing here, Clark Technic, is Behringer recognizing their name is kind of like a dirty word in some circles, and they made this, which is a clone of probably the coolest chorus unit ever made. And this is called Third Dimension BBD 320, and for this price tag, that's really tough to beat. The next closest thing is probably the Boss Waza Dimension C. Boss Dimension C. This thing. And even that, just the guitar pedal used is like $100 more almost than the Behringer one, which is a rack mount. But yeah, just completely incredible, delightful chorusing effect. I actually think I have a free plugin that does something similar. I'll put that on the strings just so we can use free plugins. What is it called? Who makes it? Full Bucket. Do they make one? Frequency shifter. They don't. Okay. The delay though. It's a Bucket Brigade delay clone, and essentially that chorus is 4 of these at a very fast speed. Is this on? No, it's not. Oh. Yeah. And you basically clone this like a few times. You get like 4 of these and it's horrendous. Oh god, you have to really dial it in. Make kind of a fun sound. Starting to sound like a ring modulator. We aren't going to do that because I haven't practiced and it looks like something that requires practice to sound right. If I had around $200 to spend on an analog synth, not caring too much about outputs, MIDI integration, what would I do? Absolutely secondhand gear, that's not a question, and I'll do that with even relatively expensive stuff. Like I bought the new monitoring system I've got in my studio was like $1,500, $1,600, and I bought it secondhand. I'm not worried about secondhand gear ever. It's just basically save yourself some money. $200 for an analog synth. How much is a Minilog? How much is a Arturia makes one, right? Arturia Microbrute. What do they charge? Arturia Microbrute is $200 used. Yeah. This is probably, let's see here, there's a reverb account. Like this thing is probably what I'd buy for $200. You can usually find them used for that. These things sound incredible, absolutely incredible. And analog synth, $200. And yeah, alternatives are things like, I don't even know. I think there's probably some small Eurorack voices that you could use, especially if you already have a MIDI controller. Sometimes you'll find like a used, something like a Moog Mini Tour for $300, something like that. So if you want to spend a little bit of extra money, that's a really good one. We'll see. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. Let's make some more tracks here. I'm going to do 2 more tracks, and they will be, I want, strings are kind of a pad, anvil is kind of like a plucky thing. I want a bass sound, so I think I want to use, I think I know what I want to use here, in a power chord. I like the power chord sound in my library, so we're going to use that. Power chord, this one here. I really like this sound. Let me play it for you. Oh, missed the button. Nice. And for bass, I think I want to use the pluck here. Guitar pluck is really good. And I want to actually double this with one of my Reaper instruments. track from template. These are also on my website. These that without the echo. Okay. So that's like adding a sub hit to it. These two I will color code together and stick them at the bottom here. These I want to be different colors, yes. Great, let's pick a different color. These are randomly picking the same color each time. Okay, wonderful. That's all set up and ready to go now. Let me check the chat here. Korg Mini, yeah, Korg Mini log. Korg Monolog is actually pretty cheap for what it is. It sounds really good. The chassis for it feels like shitty though. It's like very plasticky and light, and it moves around on my table. I've got one at work. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I'm a huge fan of the sound. I think it sounds wonderful. It's just the actual box is almost like too small. And why didn't? Welltrad says, didn't Behringer put out Bugera amp too? I'm not sure. I'd have to look up about that. Listening mode engaged. You're going to be up for a while, Limited Villains. Now that you have the sugar rush of winning like a couple hundred bucks or quid. Is like $100 is $100, right? So is 100 quid like 100 euros to you? Is that like how you use the word quid? Teach me something. Okay, this is all ready to go, and we need an idea now. So we've got instruments, and now it's just idea time. I kind of like the idea of making some type of a little sequence thing happen. I'm going to mute the drums for now. And I'm going to try making a repeating pattern. And I think I want straight eighth notes. And I'm thinking about like John Carpenter's Halloween type thing. Almost like, how does that go? It's like fifths, and I don't want to copy it exactly. It's something like that, I think. So I want to do something with that type of vibe is what I'm aiming for here. I like the way that feels repeating. Can we do a 5-beat pattern? Is Dungeon Synth ever like rhythmically? I don't think I've ever heard 5/4 Dungeon Synth. I think we're allowed to do that, right? Let's try it. It might be weird, it might not be, but we can say we did it. And this pattern feels like it repeats well, and it's 5 beats long. Sometimes the meter ends up being an afterthought. I didn't really plan on this being 5/4. But I do like that pattern, and it is in 5/4, so we'll meter it as such. That's okay. I always like to make sure my face isn't up here covering things up too much. Within Thrall says, hey, how's it going? I didn't say hi to you yet. Behringer did do Bugera. Okay, didn't know that. Grew up in London, so... Oh, Irish don't use quid as much as you. They'll say 100 euros, okay. 100 with nothing attached. Dungeon Synth should be dreamy. I agree, and I kind of don't know if I like where this is going. If it's... Maybe it'll be good. I think I've got to try it. Let's see. I think that this might end up being too rhythmically intense. And let's just see what this feels like. Is that muted still? It is, yeah. Okay. something like that. And this won't happen at the beginning of the track. I just want to see if I can get something that feels good, like some type of a groove that feels good. I don't know. I don't think it sounds like Dungeon Synth, but we'll just run with this for now. Okay, that's kind of cool. I want to hear that looping for a moment. Turning down the drums a bit. I'm trying a melody. It's way too intense. Maybe with a less busy drum part. I don't like that note. It makes me want to change the sequence. Limantic says, wonder weirdly if you had that repetition, but then introduced gaps that became longer and longer between them, then shortened them up and resolved it to 4/4. Would that work? That could work. And it's got very Nine Inch Nails. You know, I was just thinking about Nine Inch Nails. I didn't know they made the Quake soundtrack, and I was listening to that, and just, oh, wow. Trent Reznor made this. That's interesting. What if this sequence was different? Something like that. I kind of like that, with the sequence shifting up a half step for a moment. This actually sounds great to me. I don't know yet if it's going to be able to be redeemable into Dungeon Synth, but I want to record some of these ideas over the top with the strings. So that's what we're going to do. Starting on a C. That was cool. I had 16 that tremolo, the entire high thing. Turned very dancey. Yeah, having like a arpeggiator. You could do like a Game Boy thing with it. That might actually be really cool. Let's try Game Boy 16th notes. I actually don't know what you'd call this. I associate it with the pitch envelopes in the old Nintendos and stuff. Something like this. Something like that. That's really fucking cool, actually. Let's do that. Sounds like this now. Worldwide Basement Vibe says, my head keeps wanting to hear these notes change on the 4 and 5. The drone notes being this track or this one, because I feel like this one I did that in one spot right here where it changed on the 4 and 5, and it sounds great, and it does make me want to change all of it. But then making these notes change could also be really interesting. We'll play around with it. We got plenty of time. I think the stream, I'll probably run the stream for another hour or so, actually. So hopefully we'll have a full track by the time it's done. Will says it sounds like a Legend of Zelda boss battle on crack. Let's take that as a compliment, because Legend of Zelda boss battles sound great, and on crack is usually a compliment. The heavy one, okay. Let's try that. Something that I like doing is taking my idea, whatever I'm working with, and then just doing another version of it somewhere else. So, something like that might be a good way of doing it. Let's see how that feels in context. Maybe it's better. I like that, but I think that we'll get away with essentially doing this, which is kind of what I was waiting for, is throwing something like that that's a bit busier in the bass line. Yeah. Okay, I think I want to run with your idea, worldwide, but taking that idea and bringing it into the bass part instead of into the power chords. And what we might end up doing is throwing a filter on this track and keeping some of that low range like open for the bass part. So it sounds like this. Just taking that low end out, and now this occupies the low end entirely. And now I think what I want to do is take this. What have I done? And do like a bum, 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 bum. Just sort of have each of these notes happen on those kicks. Oops. And let's do... Did I get that? Okay, I did. And that one needs to be copied down here. And now we've got this as our whole vibe here. Fuck yeah. I love it. It's really on track to somewhere cool. Now all we have to do is sort of arrange it and come up with some more parts. I like this anvil thing now, even though that's what I started with, doesn't feel like it needs to be there right at the beginning. This bass part doesn't really, like the whole rhythm section doesn't need to be there from the beginning. Like, what does this sound like? Just like bring this up on a fader. Bring that stuff in. Some type of a drop situation. End up with an intense track. Don't play this note. Something like that. Let's see. I see some stuff in the chat over here. Already sound. Okay. You could use any CD as the Quake soundtrack. Really? I didn't know that. I actually only had the shareware of Quake, which is really, what a funny thing to say. I only had the shareware of Quake. God. If I could explain what a shareware is to a young person today, it's kind of like having a video game, but you don't have to pay for it, but you do if you want the rest of the game, but it's not on the internet, and you like, mail something. I think you had to mail in like a letter to the developer, and they would like mail you the CDs for the rest of the game. It was like the CD had like level 1 on it or something like that. What a bizarre time to be alive. The like late 90s, early 2000s was. Anyway, what else do we got in here? Already sounds cool. Bounce off a little sample as it is. Yeah, I guess we could do that. Chef's kiss. Yeah, I think that your idea was definitely contributing to that. Sounds great. I agree. Cut the high bell sounds out for a bit. Yeah. I was doing that without reading the chat. Doom rave at the end. Alien invasion. Nuclear dystopia. Wonderful. Will also only have the shareware version. We're talking about shareware on YouTube Live. Like, this technology here is like none of us would have ever imagined. Yeah. The Quake shareware was everywhere. Everyone got it. One of my dad's coworkers had Doom, and that was the first time I'd ever played. I didn't have video games in my house as a kid, actually. Like that Doom. Just playing Doom on someone else's computer was just a magical experience. That and another game was Prince of Persia, the original Prince of Persia, which is like, holy shit, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. And my parents eventually got computer games. They differentiated between those and video games for some reason. And I was allowed to have computer games, but not console games until I was much older. So SimCity 2000 was the first game that I was obsessed with as a kid. And seeing younger kids today obsessed with Minecraft, I completely get it. It's just a better version of SimCity 2000. Lamentic Villains had a 5 gigabyte hard drive. Check your privilege. Holy shit. I remember having like a computer with, I think, a 32 megabyte hard drive, 16 megabyte hard drive maybe. Not the RAM, but the hard drive. God, unbelievable. Those old computers didn't do anything. You had to be really good at programming to make anything work. Yeah, first levels are free. Wow. Okay. Anyway, we're making this is shareware music. That's the new the new genre, shareware synth. Let's see how this feels again. I just want to check this melody, and I want this melody to last convincingly across 4 phrases of this. Let's make the melody do tricks. Boom. I'm gonna try to copy that bass line thing. What is the bass doing there? Bum bum. Oh, that'll work. Trying to make chords out of this. That's cool. And I do want to quantize this whole thing. And hopefully, is that doing what I want? Oh, it's a little bit shorter than I thought it would be. Okay, let's see here. This thing is going to create problems. I know myself well enough to know that I'll do something like this and end up with what's going on. There's like this little gap here where this item's too long and this one's too short. Yeah. So we're gonna fix that, slice that out, and and this one right here, this repetition is gonna start having some type of agency of its own. Yeah, this might become like a copy. Okay, this whole thing is looking really good. I think this whole arrangement works, and this is like sort of the heaviest part of the arrangement. We can start stacking this stuff. Actually, let's leave it looping and see if it comes around nicely. Got my gummy worms. Turn it down a little bit, but that was kind of cool. Okay, what does this sound like, actually? I think that we need to do something else with the song at that point. Less complicated pink section in the second half could work too. Slowly cutting out notes, just an idea. Pink, or do you mean pick? What do you mean by that? I don't know what you mean, pink section. Are you thinking like something like this piece, but with less stuff going on? I think I do like the idea of taking this drum beat, maybe making this drum beat on beat. No, we're not doing that. The colors, like the bell sounds. Yeah, like the song is forgetting itself. I've done stuff like that before. It's almost like, I think of it as the equivalent of taking your sequencer and, hitting buttons on it until, like, you have on a sequencer, on analog sequencer at least, usually you've got a series of switches or buttons that are like on or off for each step. And you just start, hitting steps randomly almost. So, like, I guess the equivalent would be taking this and just ditching some of the notes randomly. And then, like, you just start hitting buttons on the sequencer like this. Ended up with a good rhythm. Bump, ba-dum, bum. I like it. Oh, you know what? I think I might leave that there. But that's actually cool by itself. Let's leave that. And this either needs to be much quieter or needs to do something to stay out of the way. And I think we want high strings over this. Let's get some pre-roll going here. Actually, yeah, that kind of works. Let's just quantize that a bit. Yeah. All the way up to the edge there. Does this even need to be there? What if we put something like I don't hate that, but I also think it's inappropriate in the context of this song. What does it sound like if we loop it? This is like, I kind of like the idea of something like this. Black Sabbathify it. Something like that with what would this sound like? Imagining that now instead. Is it too slow? Is it perfect? We're not sure. We'll figure it out. It sounds like the strings over there. It's almost like Reverend Bizarre. Oh, I like it a lot. It's cool. Okay. So the other problem here, I'm going to leave this alone for now and recognize that we kind of started it in the middle of the song. It's like in, what do you call it? In media res. And I want it to start at the beginning of the song. So I'm going to come up with some kind of an intro here and figure this out. Hey Mugdrude, what's up? I like how distorted it's sounding. Third last note is yuck. Oh, I haven't looked at the chat in long enough that I'm not sure which note you're talking about anymore. The creepy toy in the horror film is breaking down. Yeah, sounds like Suno. Will Trav says, yeah. It's very like super slow, heavy doom almost at this point. I love it. I think it's actually great. It's a nice change. And I think that I am going to aim to end up there. But first, I want to come up with the beginning. So the drums definitely don't come in right away. The bass doesn't come in right away. Actually, that stuff does come in there. Let's see here. Maybe this whole thing happens one time before. What does that feel like? Gong right at the beginning? Maybe? This needs to be louder again. I want this to be like taking up less space. Oh, Lamentic Villains, you win. Yeah. Fade the bells in. Key snap 2. I think I'm sort of in C minor. Do something else at the beginning here. Never use key snap. Always end up with notes you don't want. What do we want to do here? Some of these two. That. Okay. 70s horror slasher. Yeah. Early 80s horror. Yeah, this is just very we are leaning kind of hard into my John Carpenter fandom. Longer fade creep him in like Rosemary's Baby is sneaking up on you. Sounds pretty epic. I'm gonna point over there. I think it's this room. One of the rooms in my house has exactly the same wallpaper as the creepy house in that movie, Rosemary's Baby. It's really old, decrepit wallpaper, and it's fuzzy to the touch. It's a very strange choice. Let's try the longer fade with this. That's cool. Kind of just kicks into you. Sounds pretty epic saying, yeah. I agree, I like it. Right there is a good time to try throwing in that snare if there's ever a time for it. That might be really intense. Might be too much. I'm imagining flams here. Flams are annoying as fuck to program. I like it though, it's worth it. This needs to be like giant drum roll. This could actually be like a triplet roll. Might be kind of cool. Not too fast. Needs this gong again. Oh jeez, this is great. Hey Swordmaster Mark. 90s RPG vibes, yeah. A little bit RPG and a little bit like we were talking about Quake earlier in the chat here. Like Quake or doing like a 90s FPS game or something like that as well. Phil Collins ate a 90s MIDI. Yeah. I did that last week. I did the Phil Collins Phil. This one here needs to shut up though. I'm not feeling that. Shut up. These are straight triplets, not triplets. Something like this might be cool. Oh, I know what's going on. I'm imagining 4/4 fills and I've got 5 beats in those measures. That's my problem. So I want to separate this into like these three, and then no. What have I done? Oh, okay. This is what I want. 2, 2, and then some like something like that's better, yeah. And then this part, can I get away with this? Subdividing like that. Or like that. Just becomes like the slowest 4/4 in the world. Yeah. We can do that. Right? That's not a problem. Cool. I'm gonna play it back from back here and check the chat. 70// okay, that's where I was. Rosemary's Baby, Rosemary's Terminator, 90s RPG. Yeah, okay. With that drum roll, yeah. Lamentic says, man, it's been a pleasure. This sounds really good. Also, Mortal Kombat. Yeah, a little bit, right? We should add like a vocal sample. Make a Bandcamp charity compilation around Christmas time for cancer research. Of course, yeah, I'd absolutely donate a check to that. If you hear anything, I actually haven't released any of the stuff from my last few live streams. The ones that are labeled, like, that are in the How to Start a Dungeon Synth Project Season 2 playlist are on the album that should have gone here, that I'm going to be working on. So those are taken, but nothing else is spoken for. And there's probably 4 or 5 tracks from the last couple of months that don't have a home yet. So you could even take your pick out of those and let me know which one you like. DM me on Twitter or something like that, and I can try to send you links to the ones that are currently homeless. Purgatrum, hey, how's it going? And adios for now. Yeah, Lamentic Villains, what is it, like 5 a.m. in Ireland at this point? Thanks for stopping by. I think you actually might like this track, Infected. It's got this doom metal section here. And I think that it's maybe a little bit too repetitive at that point. 10 minutes of the fake whale sample. That's actually, I think, still on my website. Let's put the whale sample in here. Whale groan. Let's put that in on this transition here. I forgot about these. I have it set to go in at the tempo. Let's make it the right length here. And do like a something like this, like a ping pong pan. ASMR. Oh my gosh. Play that to some actual whales. Okay. That's not completely out of the question. I have a friend who is currently filming a documentary on whales. Like, the most unbelievable, like, photographs and stuff I've ever seen of whales. He's actually, like, I think his team just got the first penetrative footage of this particular species of whales mating ever. Which is the funniest thing. They just happened to, like, be filming whales mating, and they, like, might have made scientific history. But yeah, they're interacting with, I think, as many as 6 whales every day for the next 2 months. So I could email him and say, like, hey, my YouTube chat wants you to play this sound for some whales. Would you be willing to do that? I don't know if he's got any type of speaker system where he could, but or if he'd be down for that antic. But we could ask. Oh my god. What if it worked? Okay, so I think that we want that anvil thing to come back in. Maybe right around here. I am almost imagining like What is that song? Is it the Genova song from Final Fantasy VII that does that? Something like, can't remember what it does. It's like a something like that. But something like that, like a cascading type of a sound. Okay. What's my starting note? This is a C chord. So a C minor chord. Something like that might work. Let's try that. So like a... Oh, I've got it on step record mode. Didn't even realize that. So like an A flat major 7 chord might work over there. And I'm figuring that out with the power of music theory. I know the sound of what I want, and the point of music theory, people always talk about like you don't need to know music theory to do music, which is correct, but if there's a sound that you like and a sound that you want, and you know how to recreate that, then it's great to be able to recreate that. And you can do that, like, obviously, like, by ear. But if you know what it's called, you can explain what it is that you're doing to someone else, and it's helpful for other musicians. But, yeah. I'm going to show that whale sex music comment. I don't think it's inappropriate. YouTube thought it might be. I understand why. Words like porn and sex. Anyway, so, yeah. With the power of music theory, I get that sound that I want. And what I did there, the sort of mental gymnastics that I'm doing here is identifying that a C minor chord and an A flat major 7 chord share all 3 notes of a C minor chord. And since we're working with a C minor chord, I can just add one more note, and now it's that major 7 chord, but with that C minor chord sitting on the bottom. Okay, sleep deprived, other time zone folks, Lamentic Villains, Purgatrium, see y'all later. Thanks for coming by. It's been fun. Let's hear what this sounds like real quick. Okay. I like it. I think I can work with it. What's this music theory you speak of? It's theory. That's the whole point. It's a theory. It's not worthless. It's a bunch of words to describe stuff. It's like using a definition instead of an example. And in music, examples are always better. So in this case, I'm trying to find chords that share notes, and I'm using a combination of background knowledge in my ear to figure that out. It smells weird in here. I'll make sure nothing's wrong. I think my neighbors are smoking weed. I don't know what else it could be. That can happen twice. Just reversing this. And actually, I want to get these inversions similar. So I'm trying to get the notes in the same register. I didn't do that right. Oh, I'm going for the wrong chord. What have I done? So these should be down 1. I think that's the chord I want. And I guess I could pull these. Does that work? Is that cool? Does that sound good? I think it sounds good. I just need to hear it in context. Excuse me if this sounds bad. That's fine. Boom. Boom. Let's find a thing that works. Boom. So we want this note wants to come down. Definitely want an F natural in here somewhere. Do I have an F natural? F natural I do not. So this note is going to be an F natural, I think. I want a C natural. No, a C sharp. And then, yeah, this last one, I will make this up. And this part really is aggressive sounding, so we're just going to make this section quieter. Sounds like boss fight music again, as usual. And this needs some really, really epic melody to make it not boring, because it's getting kind of boring. That one there, I actually want that to feel like a minor chord. Is that right? Is it this one? Actually, it's fine. I don't dislike it. Yeah. Okay, and then this one right here, we're just gonna record string part. Turn this guy off. Okay, that needs a lot of surgery. I liked the vibe of all of it though, so I didn't stop. There's a lot of notes in here that felt like they were wrong notes to my ear, but the context of all of it, like everything felt like it would have been good if they were the right notes, and we're going to make them the right notes. So that is the part that made me feel like the other section is not what I want. So what is that? That should be a C down to, what is that? C down to an A flat. Right in that spot. Okay, let's check this out. What notes do we have? Do we have a C or an A flat or anything close? There's a C. And we have an A. So let's take that A in this section and pull it down to an A flat, because I kept imagining it was going to be there. I think that means this note needs to be a little bit lower. Yeah, that feels more like what I imagined. And just like that, ready to go. Okay, I like that. Now it just needs to be sort of quantized to probably the nearest quarter note. No. Yeah, let's just do this. This is going to be faster than redoing all of it. Oh, no. I'm actually separating these 5 beats into 4 beats. So I'm going to do this manually. I could have done this with this is a metric modulation, technically. If you don't know what that is, it's where you essentially take the length of your beat and your tempo, and you do some math with that. Basically, like if you're so just changing where your pulse is without changing your tempo, or changing your tempo without your pulse. And yeah, the auto quantize. The auto quantize is great if you're doing something that's attached to your grid. In this case, it would be changing my grid value to where each of these groups of 5 notes would be 4. So to do that right in this context, I would be needing to take my tempo of 120 and saying like, what is 120 divided by 5, or 120 divided by 4, or 120 times 5, right? Like, so 120 beats per minute times 5 beats. So 600 divided by 4 equals 150. So I should be saying the tempo becomes 150 and the meter becomes 4/4 here. No, that's backwards. Whatever, that's the idea. I think the idea is as clear as it can be in my current mental state. Basically, each of these groups of 5 on the grid should be a group of 4, which is why you see this happen here. And it's just math. So right here, if this is set to like 16th notes, or I guess it could just be set to 8th notes, then you can see that's exactly halfway. Yeah, actually, if I auto-quantize this to 8th notes, it would kind of work. We shouldn't need to do that, though. We can just clean up the general effort manually, and should be okay. Yeah, something like that. These can go there. And these will probably just fade out like that. And we'll end up maybe coming back to this part in the beginning. I kind of like the idea of bringing this section back anyway. I meant to do this. And then the drums can be like bam, bam, those last two beats. Something like that. And this could be like, let's just go totally hard with it. Yeah, I think we can just live with this. I guess this needs it too. Now that group of 4 can live here. And then no drums, I think, is a good ending here. Put that kick in there. No power chords. Okay, and then this should sound more broken, kind of like this version over here. Less of them each time. The last one's just gonna be like something like that. And what if everything just played one giant unison at the end? Something like this. It's not horrible. I feel like these should all be a bit shorter, but live and learn. Needs natural fade out. Okay. That's probably enough work for one night. I'm a bit fried. I worked on another release that's not a public one yet for a few hours earlier today, and it's sounding great. I can't wait to post that one. That's going to be soon. The sessions have too many tracks for me to do them on stream, unfortunately. Okay. Let's just listen to the whole thing from the beginning and see if it's any good. I already want that to kind of fade in too. Maybe no gun. Just get a little bit louder. Came back and did anything with these again. It's probably fine. Anyone want to rap on this? Bit abrupt. This is like the part where the boss transforms, right? We should come back to this with timpanis. That was cool. I wasn't sure what to expect there. It's funny, like hearing the song in context is very different from working on it. Oh, I forgot to even fix this end piece. Boom, boom. It's like Power Rangers or something. If Power Rangers was an MS-DOS game. All right. thanks for watching, everyone. That was fun. Let's see what I've got in the chat here. Mug Drew, nice track. Thanks a lot. Swordmaster Mark says epic. Thanks a lot. Yeah, thanks for coming by. That was a fun one. I wasn't sure what to expect on tonight's stream, and hey, it's it turned out kind of cool, huh? So anyway, like I said in the beginning of this stream, in case people are here watching wondering what happened to the Dungeon Synth project series, I got the artwork for the cassette done, so we are going to come back and do that on a video. Hopefully that'll be up on Saturday. I'll get that done this week. And we'll do a video on the sort of like DIY, you are your own record label. We're putting out a cassette version of your Dungeon Synth project thing. And I got artwork done on a commission, and we'll just put that together and probably order it. And I want to do that on a cut video instead of a stream, because ordering stuff that costs money usually involves personal information on the screen. So I want to show everyone how I do it, but I don't want to show everyone my credit card number. So anyway, I want to play this sound again. Well, two sounds before I end. This is number 1. And then this is number 2. Good night, everyone.